Hello, my name is Jake Conroy. I'm a student on an Erasmus exchange here in the Fine Art College in Hungary, and I'm from Dublin. I study in Institute of Art and Design in Dunleary back in Dublin. I had seen they had like a scenography course here in Budapest, and there actually wasn't that many options in a lot of the colleges that were partnered with IDT in Dublin, so it seemed kind of perfect then that I'd get to come here and continue studying with costume design and get experience in new things like mask making and like the puppet design class. So yeah, it just seemed like a perfect kind of option. Just giving us more like broad tasks, I think, to kind of play and tweeze out ideas. So with this puppet module, for example, we were given very like generic kind of vague words, descriptors. In my case, I had been given the word superficial. And then, yeah, we were given little tasks kind of week by week, either to make things out of cardboard solely, and then we kind of introduced new materials and lighting as the weeks went on to kind of develop the idea further and like flesh out what this word could mean and how to convey it. And it allowed us to kind of just figure out what the word could mean and how to best represent it, through a puppet. A puppet choreographer came in and we did nice kind of exercises then on how like movement works in a puppet, how best to direct kind of its gaze, to give it life, its breath, things like that that are key, to create the life of a puppet and bring it to life on stage. So we had a class of that one week, which I thought was really, really fun. And just like enjoyable to kind of get a chance to almost perform as well, and not just be designing, but almost, kind of on the stage as well and make them come to life. So yeah, that was a really, really nice class. Enjoyable to come up with the character once I had done the background of like, the lighting and colors and what the feeling was to me. But then I think once the construction began, I think that's where I kind of was challenged probably the most, because I'd never worked with kind of the foam and how to sculpt it well. And I don't really work yet. I never make sculptures, 3D kind of models, things like that. So it was definitely kind of hard trying to think of how to turn the drawing, the design into a 3D thing. So yeah, that was, I think, probably the biggest challenge. It was tricky initially, but I think once I got into it again, I just kind of had fun with it, and it was a nice, experience to just have gone from point A to, the end then when it was a fully fledged character and I could like move it on a camera and create a story with it, The puppet I'd made in the end, its name is Augusta. It's kind of tied into a project I had to do with the other scenography courses where we were adapting a play. I only know the name in English is Shock-Headed Peter. I don't even know if they're an overweight kid, but they're just a kid that doesn't want to eat, and they keep saying they don't want to have food and eventually get really skinny and then end up dying. So that was kind of the inspiration behind my puppet. That's why, she looks very frail and quite, she's bald, and these kind of design elements I kind of brought in to show the end result of the character once she's deceased. So yeah, that's my puppet. It's definitely, I think, it's something that is totally new, even like as a course, but in Dublin really, there's no culture of kind of puppet theatre, things like this, I think has been a really interesting thing I've been exposed to over here. That's, I think, been so fun to see, and it's so creative. I think that's the part that I have really been inspired the most by, is seeing like things put on in the Babson House with like, I think the Frankenstein puppet like performance looks really, really cool. One of the lecturers here had shown us kind of clips from it, and I think that's kind of the thing I'd like to pull the most from it, is just the freedom, I think, to kind of tell a story without just, very strict rules. You can kind of be a lot more free with puppet making, and I think it was nice to just use my hands and make something from scratch. And yeah, I think I would love to take that with me from here, and I think, in the future, in 10 years, I think I'd love to have the opportunity to continue working in theatre and like kind of performance and something in visual arts. I think would be really, I'd be really happy with that, So I think just traveling more, maybe getting abroad again and having experiences like this where I can be in new places and learn new things, I think would be, yeah, really lovely.